Beauty is seen as something extremely subjective in the eyes of teens. Our research question today is, to what extent has social media usage in the United States impacted the social norms of beauty among different high school genders? Unfortunately, social media usage in the US has impacted the social norms negatively among different high school genders. Hi, my name is Valerie.
Hi, I'm Maya.
Hi, I'm Natalia.
Hi, I'm Celine.
And our solution to this is to implement suicide prevention and mental health awareness content on all social media applications. This allows for students to have exposure to mental health resources in order for less negativity to be spread. The beauty standards for straight males is a perfect picture of masculinity. Features that show strength are common. Muscles and abs are praised. Having a sense of an unemotional presence is also expected. As for gay men, they are supposed to come across as soft, colorful, and gentle. They are more feminine and not supposed to look athletic or sporty, unlike straight guys, non-binary. In an interview with Jupiter Sanchez, seen in the two pictures here, he describes social media influence as the following. As someone who is part of the LGBTQ community, we have been seen as a trend to be accepted now, rather than in the past. But at the same time, there are still some people who comment homophobic slurs on my content. Social media brings out the best of us physically, but yet hurts us emotionally. Straight girls. They are highly sexualized and encouraged to draw attention to features on their bodies such as the breast, butt, or mouth, as shown in this picture. These posts receive the most likes and views, supporting the precedent installed in social media that teenage girls should show off their body because that is what's most popular and likable. Lesbian women. They strive to act manly with little to no female features. The most intense version is the dyke. They wear manly clothes and typically bind their breasts. By advocating for mental health awareness, it will show teens that all genders are accepted in society.
Representation of masculinity and femininity. Men and women have almost always been seen as one thing because of the gender norms embedded into our society. Women were seen as dainty, fragile, and weak housewives that must take care of her children, husband, and have no ambitions, while men were seen as strong, brave, and breadwinners. Society has pushed these values of men and women for too long. One of the first times in history, men weren't just seen as strong, brave, and masculine. Gay and trans men got to explore their femininity out in the open through theater. During Shakespearean times, women weren't allowed to perform, so men had to play female roles. Men were able to become and show off their dainty and feminine side. Mid-19th century, it was popular and socially acceptable for women to finally wear pants. Pants for a long time were only seen as a masculine thing, and women weren't allowed to wear them. But times in society were finally changing their gender norms. Minority representation. Minorities have almost always been shown in a negative light. From the beginning of slave times, Black women were exotic creatures to the white man and women. Black women were curvier and bigger than the regular white woman. So Black women were put on display and shown off like an animal in a zoo. They were taken advantage of. Since slavery, Black men were seen as lazy and criminals. The white men made laws that put Black men down. They didn't give them jobs and therefore made them homeless and put them in jail for this. So the perception of Black men was seen as that in white men's eyes because they made it so. Hispanics and Asians were seen as criminals too. Hispanics were portrayed as gang members and bad guys in movies like West Side Story. Asians were generalized because of the World War II. All these bad representations of minorities didn't help young people's ideas of who they are and who they should be.
The way one defines their gender is purely based on gender norms. We learn these norms by ways in which other people have physically expressed their masculinity and femininity. Artwork featuring different body types and sizes for both men and women throughout time have resembled what at that current time is considered beautiful or handsome. The body standards have shifted over time, which conform to current fashion trends as seen in the picture in the upper right-hand corner, which shows fashion trends for both men and women from 1860 to current time. These trends are created based on celebrities and magazines. Now, trends are based mostly on social media influencers. During early history, women did not work outside of their homes. Like Maya has previously mentioned, this caused issues in theater because there are no women to fulfill the roles. So men would have to play the female parts. The introduction of drag culture changed the male beauty norm, which expects males to only show their masculine traits and began to allow men to embrace their feminine side through their art of performance. Prior to modern technology and social media, during the 17th and 18th century, curvy body types for women were most common as seen in sculptures and other artworks. With the introduction of fashion magazines, a slimmer body type became a norm, along with eating disorders and unhealthy body conditions. Modern-day technology allows us to adjust and edit how we appear in photos to look like what societal beauty norms expect us to look like. On social media apps, we're able to edit or use filters on the photos that we're going to post. Without being able to see the unedited version, other people become self-conscious and forget that that isn't how the person actually looks like in real life. With posting this edited content, we're encouraging the unrealistic standards of beauty, which causes further issues with self-confidence and body consciousness. The praising of unhealthy eating and exercise habits are demonstrated by envying people with eating disorders because of how slim they look, which causes these unhealthy body types to become a beauty norm due to their popularity on art forms such as photographs and videos on social media. Inclusivity of all body types through different social media platforms could have a positive effect on the user's self-consciousness and will allow everyone to feel included.
As my groupmates have discussed, the effect social media has on the body image of teenagers is extremely negative and is simply being reinforced. In the two diagrams shown here, they display what part of the brain responds to positive affirmations, which is in the medial prefrontal cortex, according to a study done by the University of Pennsylvania. Affirmations can be received through things such as compliments, or in this case, from comments on social media. These affirmations cause this specific section within the brain to act as a buffer, blocking negative information from affecting the brain and emotions in a harmful manner. Unfortunately, with the use of social media, the prevalence of negativity has risen, which causes less buffers in the minds of young, impressionable teens, regardless of their gender. Coincidentally, in the medial prefrontal cortex, as displayed in the two MRI scans, depression also occurs in this area. Having two major effectors of emotion in one cortex of the brain can lead to many dangers, since the lack of positivity and kindness are shown to be closely related to depression, according to SciPost.org. This not only displays the perils that social media encompasses, but it depicts how the system can be heavily improved upon by positively advocating for those who have mental health issues. This would allow for less teens to feel as if they are the only ones experiencing these depressive feelings. To add on, not only are students constantly bombarded with negative thoughts, but with the addition of cyberbullying by classmates, it has only worsened. According to a study done by the CDC, in 2017, rates of suicide since the introduction of social media have skyrocketed, even rising well above the deaths caused by homicides. Not only have the effects of social media caused depression and mental health issues among students, but those who have been victims to cyberbullying are 2 times more likely to commit suicide, also according to the CDC. With all of this information, it is clear that social media is only causing insecurities and self-confidence of high schoolers to reach a mindset that death is the only viable option, which can simply be solved by advocating for its improvement. Seeing that social media is allowing for the flourishing of stereotypes, poor representation of beauty within teens, wrongful depiction of people through art, numerous deaths, only advances the claim that social media is harming those of differing high school genders. The most effective way to reduce these factors would be through social media's advocacy of mental health awareness. Thank you.